So 2025 has definitely been a bad time to be a Counter-Strike hater or a doomer or one of the many skeptics out there. But guess what? That hasn't stopped people from still being insanely negative and downplaying it and saying that CS2 is dying. CS2 is all bots, all cheaters. CS2 is in a horrible state. CSGO was better. CS 1.6 was better. Whatever. But I don't really care. In this video today, we're going to be talking about all of the exciting and positive and amazing things that have been going on over the past couple of weeks to show that CS2 is actually in an amazing state right now. The future is really bright, and I still think the markets have a ton of room to grow, and there's still a ton of money left to be made if we are able to continue on this trajectory, which I definitely think we will do so over the next coming years. But of course, first, just want to plug my cash trading business. If you guys are looking to sell any of your CS2 items, turn them into cold hard cash, crypto, or any other payment method, definitely hit me up over on Twitter. It's going to be the first link in the description below. I know there's some people who say they don't have Twitter or whatever, but you can also reach out to me on Discord, which is linked in the description as well, or like my business email if worse comes to worse. But of course, we like to get those big deals done. So if you're looking to sell any knives, gloves, expensive skins, bulk cases, maybe your entire inventory, whatever, we can probably get a deal done. And by selling to me, you're helping support me and my channel, my content, which I would appreciate a ton. With that being said, let's get right into this video today. So the first thing is obviously this, which I had showed in a previous video, but we haven't gotten to talk as much in depth about this. But on March 15th, something very big happened. CS2 tweeted out, thanks a million, 1,824,989 to be exact. And obviously what they're talking about is Counter-Strike reaching their all-time peak player number, even surpassing the peak numbers from CSGO, even surpassing the peak numbers during, 2023, the peak CS2 hype mania that we saw, where, again, at that time, people were absolutely going crazy about Counter-Strike. Everyone was talking about Counter-Strike. People who hadn't played Counter-Strike in years were coming back to play it, to try it out, to buy skins, to see what was going on and get ready for CS2, which was, kind of overly promised to be the future of Counter-Strike and to change everything. And there's going to be, new weapons, new items, new graphics. It's going to be a perfect game. There's going to be AI anti-cheat. They promised everything, and obviously they underdelivered, and this led us to this major crash, not only in the player base, but in the markets. We saw this big dip, but now things are back. We are hitting those all-time player base numbers. We're hitting those all-time market numbers, and again, that's still with a lot of those promises left to be fulfilled, and still a lot of changes that need to be made, a lot of things fixed to CS2 overall, but it's a good sign that even with all these issues and with the lack of content over the past couple of months, like 4, 5, 6 months at this point, that still things are reaching all-time highs. So, some people could say, hey, we're getting back to these all-time high crazy numbers that led to a crash last time, but I would say, hey, we are reaching these numbers for the second time now, without people having all these kind of super promises and expectations and everything. We're just reaching these at a state where people are enjoying CS right now and playing the game a ton. Now you can see here in the past 5 months, we've been increasing in terms of those average player base numbers month over month, again, for 5 straight months, March being no exception there with a 2.11% growth. We saw 10% player growth in February. I don't even know how or why. It doesn't really make sense. But again, you can see here that peak player base number. We didn't get to the 1.82 that CS says, but 1.81 is what Steam charts has to say. And again, those average player base numbers also sitting over 1 million for 2 months straight, which is really crazy. We have now broke that number that we saw back in May of 2023. We're still not to the same average player base numbers that we saw in May of 2023, but we're definitely getting there. At this point, definitely don't be surprised or shocked if we do see the player base kind of slow down or go down in one of these coming months, because, hey, things don't go up forever. You can see throughout all these periods of time, even when we have, 6 green months in a row, we hit some red. So it is possible the markets and the player base could slow down and pull back, just because you can't go straight up forever. Nothing's going to be like that. There's going to be ups or downs, but I do think there is still plenty more room to grow in the next couple of months, because I do expect some new kind of content to be coming. We obviously have the Austin Major. We might get some new case. We might get new armory stuff. You have Premier Season 2 ending in June, I think, and then, kind of the new season starting. There'll be season rewards. There'll be all that different stuff. Valve has opportunities to still put out a ton of content to bring people back to the game, but the big thing here being, with us hitting all these numbers, having all these players playing, I definitely think that Valve is going to want to capitalize off of this and make some money off this as well. But we did have just everyone in the community talking about all the positive things going on. We have the CS2 market cap hitting a new all-time high at 4.47 billion, which is absolutely insane. Again, breaking those numbers that we saw back in 2023. We also have different items and skins. The AK-47 red line in field test has surpassed $56 on the Steam community market for the first time. It is now more expensive than the Phoenix case first launched in February of 2014. 2014. So again, this is a 11-year-old skin that is hitting all-time highs and pretty crazy. For a long time, the AK Redline was seen as like one of the most stable items in the game at a super, super low price. It wasn't going to change, and now it's just absolutely exploded. And this just shows, how even play skins, even cheap skins, even skins that, just kind of sit at a certain value, still grow and still explode over time, and how having your money in the CS markets, even on some kind of random skin, the AK Redline, it's not like an amazing skin. It's not a skin that people are using all the time or anything like that, but it has just continued to grow and grow and grow over time. X Mercy also acknowledged this when tweeted something out similar. One of the most popular liquid items the AK Redline field tested. Its price is going up alongside the increase in the player base. A lot of people claim the numbers are mostly driven by bots. I don't think so, and the market proves otherwise. Or are bots also buying skins nowadays? So that is what's funny as well. Again, when CS hits new numbers, people are like, oh, it's just bots, it's just cheaters, whatever. But guess what? People doing stuff like that are not buying play skins, are not buying AK Redline field tested. And again, as we continue to hit new all-time highs, player base continues to grow. We're seeing so many good fundamental and data points that really lead to show us that the CS markets are in a very, very strong and some people would say bubbly or overdeveloped point or whatever. But again, the fundamentals are really solid behind this stuff too. It's not like prices are going insane as the player base stagnates or decreases or whatever. Prices are going up as the player base is growing, going up, and as Valve continues to make changes and updates to CS2 to make it a better and better game overall. Again, CS2 history just happened. Previous record was set in May of 2023. Everyone's tweeting about this. This is so much, free publicity and media. This tweet has almost 100,000 views. This one has 150K views. We have X Mercy talking about the next target's going to be 2.5 million now that we broke resistance on his little chart here, which is a funny tweet, obviously. But yeah, there's going to be more and more opportunities for stuff like this coming up. When are we going to hit 2 million players? When are we going to hit 2.5 million? Are we ever going to hit something like 3 million? When are we going to average 1.5? These things are now all in reach. And CS2 is just getting started. Think about how long CSGO was out and how long it took it to develop to the amazing state that it got to, and to the whole community and all that. CS2 is just 2 years into this thing now. Now, obviously, CS2 is not a completely new game. It's an extension of CSGO, but there is still plenty of room to grow and for things to continue to get better. And I know this is something else that people were talking about as well, that Steam is continuing to grow. And as Steam does continue to grow, that definitely helps funnel people into Counter-Strike, into all the other Valve games and stuff like that as well, which has definitely been beneficial here. CS2 just hit a new all-time high of consecutive players, 1.82 million. Jake Lucky tweeting about this. Again, that's another almost 500,000 views for CS2. Up only is what I thought was interesting about this tweet. New CS2 all-time concurrent players, up only. And yeah, that is what we've truly seen. Anyone who has ever been overly negative or overly skeptical about Valve and CS2 and didn't believe, people in 2023 or 2024, there were so many tweets about people who were going to be selling all their skins or selling their entire inventories or selling out of everything because Valve was incompetent. Valve couldn't even do the release right. They couldn't even make a good game. Those people literally sold at lows. Those people gave up. And the people who believed in CS2 and continue to buy the dip, continue to put money into this, continue to play the game, continue to contribute positively to the community, which is something that I've always tried to do, they are now reaping those rewards. Again, all the items have bounced back. The player base has bounced back. Things are looking great, and they can get even better from here. And all the people who sold the bottom in 2023 or 2024 or gave up, they end up looking really, really, really silly. Jesus, remember guys, CS has been perpetually dying for the last 10 years, and none of the growth is ever real, and it's always 100% bots and cheaters. And again, people are always going to be negative. That's some of the people's favorite stuff to do on the internet and people's favorite thing to do in this community or whatever. It's easy to shit on Valve or shit on CS and make these crazy claims and stuff, and this is not new to this time period. It's not new to this era. The stuff people are saying in 2023 or 2024 or whatever, people have been saying that in probably 2015, 2017, 2019, whatever, and that's just how this thing goes. So you can't read too much into that. You can't pay too much mind to it. The Esport Fire Index is not currently at a new all-time high yet, but it appears that they are getting there. This is obviously, just kind of 300 items that Esport Fire has chosen to represent a market index and stuff, and they're kind of closing in on their all-time highs as well. We have seen 26 million cases unboxed in the past month. This is probably something I want to talk about in its own video and dive into this numbers and everything, but this is looking really, 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 really good. There were a couple months within the past year that things were starting to look a little weak, but now case unboxing numbers are back in a huge way, which is obviously amazing for cases. And this is even as cases are hitting all-time highs in prices. People are still not slowing down. People are still unboxing this stuff, and that's as bullish as ever for cases, in my opinion. People talking about the growth of many items over this time. This guy said, boy, do I regret not stocking up more on glove cases when they're $350. Because, yeah, just as recent ago as 2024, it looks like glove cases were under $3 on CS Float, and now they're above $6. It's, they've doubled in the course of a year. This guy said factory new Emerald Emerald Jormunganders have went up almost 50% in the past 60 days. So there's certain items exploding kind of all over the place. And again, this is also as the S&P 500 and the global stock markets of many countries and many regions and stuff are struggling. Crypto struggling, but CS2 is doing really, really, really good. We've seen the Golden Dick sticker hit a $1,300 price tag, which is absolutely hilarious. And I wanted to end this video by talking about this as well. There could be some potential big new update coming sometime soon. I don't really know, but it does seem like some things are going on behind the scenes where Valve's maybe making some edits, making some changes, maybe getting ready for something big coming soon. We'll have to wait and see. But either way, all signs are pointing to the growth, the longevity of Counter-Strike not really slowing down anytime soon. So I think it's as good of a time as ever to be in these CS2 markets. Yeah, it's not as good of a time to buy right now as it was 2 years ago, but that doesn't mean there's still not opportunities to be had and still not a ton of growth to be seen in the items that you already own. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.